Good morning. So we shall begin our English classes as usual. So yesterday I was reminding you, and I reminded you. I reminded you that there has been a change in our syllabus, right? There has been a change in our syllabus, and this is the new syllabus which we have to follow according to the new education policy, framed by the government of India, new education policy. So we have to follow that pattern. So there is some changes, and there are some changes, and I started yesterday's unit 1 listening skills. So today I will give you the remaining contents of the syllabus. So you can take down in your notebook, and then after that we can continue the lesson. We can continue the class. So just take down. So yesterday I told you English Praxis Course 1, a course in communication and soft skills. So semester 1, a course in communication and soft skills. A course in communication and soft skills. Right? So I gave yesterday unit 1. I hope you have written it down, because there is no point in wasting our time going back again. But once you come to college, I will give you the full details and outlines. So unit 1, yesterday we started listening skills. Under that unit 1 listening skills, the subtopics are importance of listening, types of listening, barriers to listening, effective listening. So unit 1, the title of unit 1 is listening skills, and the subsections are importance of listening, types of listening, barriers to listening, and effective listening. So unit 2, speaking skills. And the title of this is speaking skills. Speaking skills. Under this speaking skills, you have the subtopics sounds of English, you have the subtopics Sounds of English, vowels and consonants. Okay, vowels and consonants. Vowels and consonants. Then you have word accent. Word accent. Word accent. And then you have intonation. Intonation, right? So these three subtopics come under the second unit, speaking skills, right? Okay, so I hope all of you are taking it down in your notebook. Please note it down somewhere, right? So it will be useful for you. You can keep track of the syllabus. You need to always keep track of the syllabus so you don't lose your focus on what we are doing in the class. Okay, so that's it. Second unit, speaking skills, sounds of English, vowels and consonants, word accent, intonation, right? Have you written it down in a notebook for your reference? Okay, then I have to rub it out because I have to continue with the next unit and I don't have space. Okay, so better write it down quickly in your books, all of you. Fine? Okay. Okay, third unit. Third unit is grammar. Third unit is grammar. Okay. So under this grammar, right, you have concord, then you have modals, tenses, present, past, future, present, past, future, and you have articles, then prepositions, question tags, then you have sentence formation, under that active voice, passive voice, reported speech, and degrees of comparison. And then you have last one sub item, errors Error correction. Error correction. Error connection. Error connection. Correction. Okay. So this is these are the sub items coming under unit 3. Okay. Unit 3, the unit deals with grammar, and you have conquered, B modals, C tenses, present, past, future, D articles, E preposition, F question tags, G sentence formation, and H error correction. Right. So please take it down quickly. Note it down in your books. I hope you are writing it down. Yeah. So you take a book and jot it down as quickly as possible. Okay. Right. Shall I rub it out? I have to continue to the next unit. Okay. Right. All of you have written it down. Conquered, A, B modals, C tenses, D articles, E prepositions, F question tags, G sentence formation, H error correction. Error correction. Right. I shall go to unit number 4. Okay. Right. So unit 4. Unit 4 is writing. Unit 4 is writing. So under writing you have punctuation, then spelling, spelling, and then you have C paragraph writing. Paragraph writing. Okay. Punctuation, spelling, and paragraph writing. That's these items come under unit 4. Okay. Writing. Unit 4 writing. Then unit 5 you have soft skills. Unit 5 you have soft skills. Unit 5 you have, okay, soft skills. You have soft skills. So under these soft skills, right, you have SOC, strengths, weaknesses, right, and your then you have attitude, You have emotional intelligence, emotional intelligence, okay, emotional intelligence, telephone etiquette, and interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills, right? So you have SO Unit 5 soft skills, SWOC attitude, emotional intelligence, telephone etiquette, interpersonal skills. So these are the 5 units that are there in the syllabus, right? Okay, the 5 units that are there in the syllabus, and I started yesterday the first unit, listening, right? Okay, and in that we saw what is listening, okay, we saw what is listening, importance of listening, then we saw the need and importance of listening, and we saw the types of listening, right? Now we are looking at types of listening, right? We are looking at types of listening. So let me do a brief recapitulation. What is the need for listening? I told you we need to listen so we can gather information, gather ideas, okay, and we have to listen, we have to be good listeners so that we can give back a correct reply or a good reply, right? And we need to listen so that we can able to share our ideas and thoughts with other people, right? Then we're looking at types of listening, and I told you we started the types of listening. And active listening, yesterday I was discussing with you active listening. Active listening is where the listener plays a keen role in the conversation process, right? In active listening, okay, you are listening attentively. Your concentration is on what you are hearing. I hope you understand. So active listener is an active participant in the conversation, right? When he is able to give a good reply, when he is able to give a meaningful reply, when he is able to give a proper reply, that person can be said to be an active listener, or we can say that active listening has taken place. Active listening has taken place. Suppose a speaker is speaking to someone, and that other person, when he does not give a reply back, or when he is unable to give a reply back, that means it indicates that active listening hasn't taken place. And I reminded you, I told you also, in active listening, the listener is keenly or carefully observing both verbal and non-verbal gestures, right? The listener is paying aspect to both the verbal and non-verbal aspects of communication. Okay, so when the speaker is speaking, the listener is observing the non-verbal gestures or actions and also the verbal aspects. This kind of person can be said to be an active listener, or in other words, active listening has taken place. Right. Next, I was talking about passive listening. In types of listening, second one is passive listening. Passive listening. Okay, we are discussing now types of listening. What are we discussing? Types of listening. Types of listening. Okay, we saw the first one. First one is active listening. Active. Second one is passive listening. I think I can rub this off. Did you write all this down? I am going to erase it. Sure? Okay, so I am going to erase everything. Okay, so I will write it here. Okay, I will write it here. Types of listening. Okay, the first one, first one is, I told you, active listening. Active listening. Then second one is passive listening. So we have to discuss the second one. We shall discuss the second one. Listening. Okay. Passive listening. Right. Okay. So what is this passive listening? What is this passive listening? Here in passive listening, there is the physical presence of the listener, but mentally the listener is absent. The listener is absent. Mentally the listener is absent. Okay. The person is not there. Right. The person is not there. The person is not listening to what is being said. The person is not listening to what is being said. Right. So in passive listening, the physical presence of the listener is there, but mentally it's he is absent. He is not concentrating on what is being said. He is not concentrating on what is being said. He is unable to follow what is being said. Right? In passive listening, the listener ignores partly or entirely the message that is transmitted to him. Okay? He ignores partly or entirely the message that is being transmitted to him. He does not listen. Now, why he is a passive listener? There can be many reasons. There can be many reasons. Maybe he is unable to follow the language, or maybe he is unable to follow the accent, or maybe he does not like the speaker. He has some kind of aversion or some kind of animosity towards the speaker, so he does not he doesn't want to listen to what the speaker is saying, right? Or we see that he is bored with the speech of the speaker, right? Maybe the speech of the speaker is not creating an interest in the listener, in the person who is listening. So in such kind of circumstances, in such kind of situations, we see that the person is a passive listener. He is a passive listener. He may be listening and absorbing only half of the information or partial information, or it can be that he is not listening to the entire conversation or the entire lecture that is going on. So in passive listening, partial listening may take place, or there is no listening entirely at all. Entirely listening does not take place. In passive listening, we need to understand that the listener may be pretending to hear, to what is being said, right? Just pretending. Okay. So since the listener is pretending, automatically they won't be able to follow, or they won't be able to grasp what the speaker is saying to them or telling them. Okay. So passive listening. In passive listening, the listener does not play an active part. The listener does not play an active part. Right? Either he shuts himself or herself off mentally, or they are just not, they find the speech of the speaker very boring, or they are not able to understand the language spoken by the speaker, or they are not able to grasp the accent. So, under such kinds of circumstances, we can see that people become passive listeners. People become passive listeners. They don't understand, or they don't want to absorb what is being said to them. So, in that case, passive listening takes place. Right. Next, selective listening. Next, selective listening. Selective listening. Okay, what is the selective listening? In selective listening, the listener chooses bits and pieces of the conversation to listen. The speaker will select what information he wants to absorb or what information he wants to understand. The remaining part of the information, he may ignore it, or he or she may leave it out. Okay, they may leave it out. They don't want to grasp the remaining part. What is important for them, what is needed for them, that aspects of the conversation they will understand or they will observe. So, in selective listening, the listener selects what to listen and what not to listen. Yeah, what to listen and what not to listen. Right? They have choices. They have preferences. And based on their preferences and based on their choices, they select only the needed information from the conversation or the lecture, and the remaining part of the conversation or remaining bits and pieces of the lecture they will ignore. They will leave it aside. They will keep it aside. So, in such circumstances, selective listening takes place. Okay, in such circumstances, selective listening takes place. I hope you are able to understand. Okay, are you able to follow? Any doubts or clarifications? I told you, write it down, jot it down in your notebook, and once you come to college, you can clarify and we can have a discussion once again. Is it clear? So now, I hope all of you are following attentively, and I hope all of you are listening attentively. Right, try to follow. I hope my English is clear and audible, and I hope all of you can follow my accent, and I hope all of you are able to understand my accent. Fine? Okay, right. So, try to follow carefully and try to put your concentration to what I am saying. Okay. So, selective listening. In selective listening, the listener selects or chooses what is needed or what is vital and important for that person, and the remaining part of the conversation or the lecture the person may ignore. Okay. In selective listening, the listener selects what to listen. The listener selects what he should listen, or what he wants to listen, or what is needed to be to listen. Okay, what is the needed information to be grasped, to be taken into. Right. So, selective listening. Next, empathetic listening. Okay, empathetic listening. Number 4, empathetic listening. Empathetic listening. Empathetic listening. Empathetic listening. Okay, right? In empathetic listening, the listener tries to sympathize or empathize with the speaker. Tries to sympathize or empathize with the speaker. The moods and emotions of the speaker are also reflected in the listener. The moods and emotions, the emotional aspects of the speaker are also reflected in the listener. So when such kind of situation takes place, we call this as empathetic listening. Empathetic listening. The listener empathizes, sympathizes. Maybe the speaker is speaking in a very different or hollow tone, or a very sad tone, or in a very dull tone, maybe due to some situations and maybe due to some circumstances, different circumstances. So in that case, we can see that the listener also tends to identify himself or herself with the speaker, right, according to the emotional aspects of the speaker, right. The speaker if the speaker displays or shows emotional aspects in the lecture or in the speech, then the listener also will try to match along with the speaker, match their emotions along with the speaker. They become sympathetic to what the speaker is speaking to them or saying to them, right. They want to show some empathy with the speaker, right. They want to show that they also are with the speaker. They are along with the speaker. They are following the speaker. So when you want to associate yourself with the speaker according to the emotions and other aspects of the speech, then this is called as empathetic listening. This is called as empathetic listening. So empathetic listening is listening or paying attention to a speaker or to another person with empathy. With empathy, you're paying attention or you're listening to the other person or speaker with empathy, having some element of empathy. And when you listen with an element of empathy in yourself, it becomes empathetic listening. It becomes empathetic listening, right? So this empathetic listening is an excellent technique by the speaker to draw the audience to what he is speaking. It's a clever ploy. It's a clever ploy to attract the speakers, the listeners. Okay, it's a clever ploy by the speaker to attract listeners to what he or she is saying. Okay, so if a speaker if a speaker wants to draw the attention of the audience, or if a speaker want to catch the following of the audience, then they need to show some empathy in their speech, or they need to have some empathetic element or aspects in their speech. So when the listener listens to such kind of people speaking emotionally or getting emotionally charged during their speech, then this kind of listening is called as empathetic listening. Next, appreciative listening. Appreciative listening. Appreciative listening. Appreciative listening. What is this appreciative listening, or what takes place in appreciative listening? In appreciative listening, the element of pleasure for entertainment comes into play. You appreciate. For example, you're sitting in a music concert. You're sitting in a music concert and you are listening to different instruments being played in the concert, and you're listening to music. The music is so melodious to your ears. The music is so nice, so smooth and soft to listen, right? And when you're listening with kind of interest and deep concentration, you are appreciating what you're listening. You are appreciating to what you are listening. This is called appreciative listening. This is called appreciative listening, right? When you listen with pleasure for entertainment, or you appreciate the music that is being played in the concert, or you are appreciating the song that is being sung by the singer, then you are doing a kind of listening called as appreciative listening. You appreciate the elements of music, you appreciate the elements of a song. Okay, what are the aspects that go into music? You appreciate everything. So when you're doing appreciative listening, you also should know something about music. Yeah, you need to know something about music or something about singing or concert. You should have a taste for music. You should have a liking for music. Okay, I took up the example of music. So anything, when you're listening to anything, when you have a taste or liking for what you're listening, then your listening becomes appreciative listening. Your listening becomes appreciative listening. Okay, I think you are able to follow. I hope you are able to follow what I'm teaching you. And is it clear? Is it understandable? Right. So try to follow carefully. So we are looking at types of listening. We saw active listening, passive listening, selective listening, empathetic listening, appreciative listening, and then you have the sixth one. You have the sixth one. You have the sixth one. Sixth one is critical listening. Critical listening. What is this? Critical listening. Right. When you do critical evaluation in your listening, right? When you do the process of critical evaluation in your listening, it's called as critical listening. It's called as critical listening. Critic, criticism, okay? Criticism, critic. So critical listening, you listen and you do some kind of evaluation or you do some kind of analysis to what you're listening. You don't absorb what you're listening to as it is. Of course, you may absorb as it is to the speaker, to the words of the speaker. You may absorb what the speaker is saying or telling as it is. But when you do some kind of evaluation, when you do some kind of analysis in your mind, okay, on what you have listened, then you are doing critical listening. Then you are doing critical listening. Then, okay, this type of listening is called critical listening. You do critical listening to find out any mistakes or any lapses or any improvements that can be done by the speaker, right? You want the speaker to do some improvements in their speech, or you want to point out the lapses that have happened in the speech or in the lecture of the speaker, then you will be able to do this, or it will be possible to do an evaluation when you do critical listening. When you listen critically, you are able to follow everything carefully and clearly, what the speaker is speaking to you. So in critical listening, what do? You listen carefully. Like for example, you go to a shop and you are buying an item from a shop, and as the salesperson or the shopkeeper explains to you about this instrument or about this machine or about the vehicle, you listen carefully. You listen carefully, and while you are listening carefully, you do an evaluation of the pros and cons of that machine or instrument or item that you are going to buy. Whether it's feasible or whether it's worth the money, the price that I am buying this item. Okay, what is the strength of this item? What is the reliability of this item? You do a critical evaluation. So when you do a critical evaluation, you need to have critical listening. You need to have critical listening. You need to think critically. You need to do an analysis. When you do an analysis in your mind, or when you do an evaluation to what you have listened, that is called as critical listening. Okay, right. So I hope you are able to, you have been able to understand so far what I have said in the class. and this is now we are doing types of listening. We are doing types of listening. So I hope all of you have understood. We shall continue the class in the afternoon. I shall meet you again in the afternoon. Okay, right. Thank you.